It's time for the Margin Matters Minute with MoneyMan Jason Brown.
Welcome to the Margin Matters Minute with MoneyMan Jason Brown.
And starring LittleMoneyMan Maddux Brown, who's our special guest co-host today. And today we're talking about...
And we're doing a video on Father's Day.
On Father's Day. Yeah, it just happens to be Father's Day today when we're recording this video.
Yep.
But what are we talking about in this video today?
Animal Kingdom!
Animal Kingdom Disney World review with 6-year-old Maddux's kid perspective and insight.
And I did Flight of Passage.
Flight of Passage. That was. We're going to talk about that in just a second. A very popular ride that everybody wants to do. So,
and I really liked it.
Yep, and we're going to tell them about that. But first, do you remember this was the first park that we did on our Disney trip? We got up at 5:30 a.m.
in the morning,
and we got on the bus.
And me and my little brother wasn't tired at all.
Yeah, that's right, because you were so excited. Now we got on the bus at 6:30 a.m. We stayed at the Disney Pop Century Resort. We got on the bus, took us to the Animal Kingdom. Got on the bus at 6:30. We actually were able to get into the park right before 7 a.m., which my wife was trying to beat the crowds. Yeah, there's no such thing. There's already like 10,000 people waiting.
What does this mean?
That's just air quotes. So beat the crowds. There's no beating the crowds. So we got in though, at a decent time. But everybody else I think was doing the same thing we were doing.
Yeah.
Everybody else was getting there early so they could go straight to
Flight of Passage,
that's
which we're talking about.
Which is the Avatar. I guess that's one of the newer rides.
I really liked it, and I did it twice.
So even though we got in, we were one of the first people in the park, first of thousands. We rushed straight to the Flight of Passage ride. That was the first thing we wanted to do. And there was already a 45-minute wait. It was crazy. But I think we only ended up waiting about 30 minutes or so. So that's not too bad. So tell them about the Flight of Passage ride. How did you like it? Do you remember?
I really liked it. But the steep, like the Daredevil go up.
Okay.
Go up. And then it goes... I got a little scared on that.
You got a little scared. It was really, really cool. But I will tell you a pro tip, if this is, or an alert, if you suffer from any type of motion sickness, this ride will give you it might make you a little queasy. It made me a little queasy getting off of it. And that's not to take anything away from the ride. The ride is amazing. It's a spectacular ride.
And pro tip.
That's right. But so be careful. If you have any kind of motion sickness, take whatever you take, whatever medication you take to calm that queasiness. Because this ride will give you a little, might make you a little dizzy, a little woozy. Because I thought it was just me, but when we were getting off the ride, I heard other people in line behind us that were getting off behind us, and they were I heard a couple people complain, "Oh man, I'm a little dizzy from that."
Like this dizzy.
So I wasn't the only one, but just be aware if you've never done that ride before. Be aware of that. That could happen to you. But that was a cool ride. And did you get to ride that again? Did Mommy do the rider swap with that one?
Yeah.
So you got to do it twice?
Yeah.
So they have the rider swap program for that ride. Disney does a really cool thing called rider swap.
And you're not really flying. You're just going up and down.
But it really feels like you're flying. It's so amazing.
It's
so realistic.
And you get to fly on this. I can't remember what it is. It's like a dragon.
Yeah, it's
a dinosaur.
It's a character from the Avatar movie, and are you guys Avatar fans know what this is called? You can put it in the description. Put it in the comments below.
Is Avatar movie even?
It's a real movie. Yeah, it's based. The ride is based on the movie. The movie is called Avatar. So those animals, those flying dragons or whatever they're called, and
dragon / dinosaur.
Right, so you're actually flying on the back of one of those animals.
It starts with a B. It has a crazy name.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it, and someone will comment
something like
and tell us.
Like something Banjo or something.
Okay, Yeah, okay. So anyway, so that was a really cool ride. Tell him about the rider swap. So the rider swap program basically says, so he has a younger brother who's 2 and he can't do the ride. So the 2 of us had to get in line, and my wife and our other boy couldn't do it.
And when you walk through, it's super cool.
It is very cool. So the rider swap program allows the other parent who has to stay back with the kid to basically swap. So after we did the ride, then you get to do the ride with mommy.
And there's like footprint.
Okay.
On the wall.
That's right. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And you get to become a half avatar and a half human.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. That is kind of cool. That is really cool where they do that. So then the rider swap actually he benefits greatly from the rider swap because he ends up doing the ride twice. But when you do the rider swap, when you go back, they put you in the lightning lane line. So you actually bypass, you don't have to wait in the full line again. They just kind of put you in the front of the line. So that's a good
but it's
option.
Kind of like the lightning lane.
Right. It's a good option to do. Okay, so let's move on to the next ride. Let's move on to the next ride. We did the Navi River. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, that was kind of like a baby.
Okay, I don't really remember that ride. What do you remember from that ride?
I remember that there was like an avatar character in there.
Okay, so we got in a boat or something and floated down a river. What did we see? Do you remember what we saw?
Avatar character.
Okay, I just remember that was a long line for that. It was about a 40-minute wait.
We saw an avatar character.
Okay.
And remember in Flight of Passage?
Yeah.
We saw those like glowing things.
Okay, yeah.
In the purple.
Oh, right.
We also got to saw those too.
Okay, so that was kind of a cool ride, but you know that's probably one of the more popular rides as well, and that's going to be a good long ride, long wait for that one too. So then we wanted to do.
Look.
Okay, come on. Let's tell them about the next ride. Now we wanted to do. There were a few rides that were closed that day that, you know, Disney isn't still fully operational yet. So we wanted to do the Wildlife Express train, which looked like a pretty cool ride, but that one was closed that day, so we didn't get to do that one. So then we decided to head over to the very popular Safari ride. That's probably one of the most popular rides at Animal Kingdom, to go see all the live animals and go on the safari. Kind of, they put you in a Jeep, I guess, and they drive around in the jungle. Pretty cool. So we went over there at about 9:30 in the morning, and we discovered that there was already an hour and a half long wait. So we decided to wait on that one and check. And this was actually a pro tip that we'll tell you about.
Pro tip.
But then we went and saw the Lion King show. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. What did you like about the Lion King show?
That there was fire.
There was fire. Okay. What else? It was a pretty cool show. What else did you remember from it?
Where they said,
They were doing songs.
Uh-huh.
They were singing and dancing. And they brought out it was kind of like a parade.
Like the cuckoo sang.
The cuckoo. Remember, it was kind of like a parade. They brought all these different characters out.
The cuckoo sang.
Right. They brought all the characters out. They kind of reenacted parts of the movie.
The song.
Yeah, they sang songs from the movie, and it was a live action show with.
But we didn't get to see hyenas.
We didn't see hyenas, but they had really cool performers and dancers and stuff, and that was a really cool show. So then we went and saw Tough to Be a Bug. Now I don't remember this one, but you do. I guess it was a 3D or 4D. One of those shows that you sit in like a movie theater and you have the glasses.
And even one bug tooted on us.
That's right. Oh, it's one of those 4D experiences where they blow the air on you or it rains on you and the chair vibrates and stuff. So it's a really cool experience.
Kind of like the Polar Express.
The Polar Express one that we saw at a different theme park. So this one was pretty cool. That probably was only about a 10-minute show. That one wasn't that long, but it was cool for the kids.
Yeah.
So then we went over to Dino Land. Do you remember going to Dino Land?
Yeah.
There was a whole area it's all dinosaur themed, and you get to there's some rides and there's some places to play. Now there's one called the Triceratops Spin. Now that one was more for younger kids, like your little brother Cameron. He's 2, so he did that. But I think you did that one too. No, we did that one. That was the little one that kind of went around, and we did that one. I think you did that one with him. So that one was cool.
Haunted Mansion is gonna be on our next video.
Yeah, that's in Magic Kingdom. We're gonna do that one next. We'll do that one in our Magic Kingdom review video. Now, then remember when we were walking around and we saw the floating parade with Mickey and Minnie on the boat? Tell them about that. That was just luck that we saw that.
Yeah.
You remember them?
Luck.
What were they doing? They were just.
They're just cuckooing out.
They were floating down the river. Mickey and Minnie.
And they were cooking like that.
They were floating down. Mickey and Minnie were on a boat floating down the river, and we just happened to be walking across one of the bridges. And here we are. They're waving at us, and of course, Mommy got so excited and started talking about this is the magic of Disney, all that stuff. So anyway, that was a cool moment for the kids, though. But then we headed over to. After that, we did the kite tail show. Remember the kite tail show?
Yeah.
Which is actually out on the
back.
water. Okay, you're going. You gotta go. Okay.
No, I'll be back.
You're gonna be back. Okay, he's leaving. He'll be back. So we did the kite tail show, and that actually it is a really cool show.
I didn't like the kite tail.
He didn't like the kite tail show, but here's what I actually just read. We were there in April. And I actually read, so you guys can check and see if they're still doing this. I don't think they're doing this anymore. I think they suspend this over the summer because it's just too hot, too hot over the summer months. And
my secret for it.
okay, and the problem with that show is there's no shade anywhere for the stands for people sit in the stands to watch it, and it's over like probably a little lake, like man-made lake, I guess. And
I'm back.
okay, he's back. Okay, great. Okay, so we're talking about the kite tail show, and it's a really cool performance. They do it over the water, over the lake. But if you guys are going to Disney over the summer, check and see, because I don't think they're offering it because it just gets too hot for the spectators, because there's absolutely no shade for anybody to sit in, and people would just literally melt out there on those seats. So that's one that may only be offered during the winter or fall, cooler times of the year. So let's move on. Remember, we went over to back to the I don't know if this was still in the Dino Land area, but the Boneyard Play area. Do you remember that? This was kind of like a kid play place. And the wife gave this a 10 out of 10.
And I got to slide down that.
Yeah, they have slides and little tunnels.
And it even did a loop.
The kids love this.
It even did a loop.
A loop. The kids love this. The wife said she gave it a 10 out of 10. This was probably one of her favorite places in this Animal Kingdom.
And we saw a lot of people on scooters.
There were a lot of people, and
on scooters.
On scooters, yes. But we also saw a lot of kids playing at the Boneyard Play area, and it's very well shaded. It's a great place to go and cool off, and they had a bunch of those big. Remember, they had all the fans in there to keep you cool. So that's a good place to just kind of go and chill out, and it's shaded, and they have the fans. And even though it is outdoors, it's very well shaded. It's a cool place for the kids to just kind of play for a little bit. So that was fun. So then we went to, now this one, both of us had some issues with this ride, the Dinosaur ride.
Yeah.
First of all, it was a very long line, of course. What is it?
And the ride is just called Dinosaur.
It's just called Dinosaur Ride.
Just Dinosaur.
Just Dinosaur. We were trying to figure out the name of it, and it's just Dinosaur. I thought it was a roller coaster when I was remembering, but it's more like it's not a roller coaster. You're getting kind of like this car, but
it's very jerky.
Yes.
And they had to close down the ride because since it's so jerky.
That's right.
It's like somebody loses their phone or something.
I forgot about that. So we were that's why the line was so long, because we were in line, and of course the ride got shut down, and you're already in the line.
Just like Rise of Resistance.
That happened to us on Rise of Resistance and a couple other rides. But this ride, I think what happened was the ride is very jerky. It kind of goes, and there's like a 90-degree turn, and then you'd go, and then there's another quick turn. And so I think someone's cell phone or hat or something, flew off or flew out of the car and got down onto the tracks. So they had to close the ride temporarily just to clear that obstruction. And then, of course, they reopened it and we were able to do it. But for me, it was a little too herky-jerky for my back. I don't want to go to the chiropractor.
And I got a little scared.
And then he got just a little scared. So just be aware if you got young kids.
And on Mount Everest, and a lot of rides that I was scared, I had to do this.
That's right. And that's a good transition because we're about to talk about Mount Everest. Mount Everest is...
And we got a good picture on Mount Everest.
We did. Now, Mount Everest we didn't know we were going to get to do Mount Everest. This is another magical Disney moment that happened to us. So Mount Everest, Mommy was so happy because she kept telling us Mount Everest was closed. It had been closed. I think they shut it down for a while for maybe renovations or repairs or maintenance or something. So it had been closed for quite some time before, like weeks or months. I don't even know. So we actually, when we went there, they had
maybe years.
I don't know if it was quite years, but it was closed for some time. And I don't know if it was because of, honestly, I don't know the reason. But the day we were there, I think they had just reopened it.
If you don't know what the 50 mean, that's how old
they're celebrating the 50-year anniversary, which is very exciting. Now, we got there and the Mount Everest ride was open. So we think, well, hey, there wasn't even a line.
Disney's older than my dad.
Yeah, way older. Now, listen, there wasn't even a line for Mount Everest. And we think what happened was they had just reopened that ride like that day that we were there. And nobody knew that ride was open. People like us, they still thought it was closed down for repairs or whatever it was. So we walked over there, and here we go. The magic of Disney happens to us again. We got pixie dusted, as they say, pixie dusted, and the ride was open, and there was no line. So we went up there. You were a little scared at first, but you did it. And how did you like it?
Good.
But you didn't want to do it again with Mommy for the rider swap.
Yeah.
Do you remember? So you just want to do it the one time. So it kind of goes up the mountain. It's a this one's been there for a long time. Very popular ride. And it goes up.
Yep.
And then it comes back down backwards, remember? Remember how it came back down backwards?
Maybe because the track broke.
No. Oh, yeah. It did. It didn't really break, but that's just how they made the ride to make it look like the roller coaster track just stopped. And then you just get to the top of the mountain, and it just rolls back down backwards. So it's kind of cool, kind of unique.
And I was scared.
You were a little scared, but you did a great job.
And that's what I had to do.
You did, yeah. You grabbed onto me, but you did you were very brave.
And I also had to close my eyes.
There's no fault in that. I do that myself, actually. But you did good because you were very brave on that one. So remember after that.
And there's a Yeti in there.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Now remember.
And maybe he showed his butt.
Okay. Now listen. Here's the pro tip. This is the big pro tip that we were telling everybody about. So what happens with Animal Kingdom is that a lot of people use Animal Kingdom as one of the park hopper. They get the park hopper pass and they do Animal Kingdom first. So like the first half of the day, Animal Kingdom very, very crowded. Until about 2:00, you'll see Animal Kingdom start thinning out. The crowds will start thinning out because what happens is a lot of people get the park hopper pass. They do Animal Kingdom first, and then they go over to do Magic Kingdom because they want to do the fireworks show that night at Magic Kingdom, or maybe they want to go to one of the other parks, etc. And Animal Kingdom isn't really that big of a park, and you can do all the rides in Animal Kingdom in one day. No problem. And so after 2:00, so what we did, remember earlier in the day, we tried to do the safari, and the line was like an hour and a half at least, maybe almost 2 hours long. The line wrapped around. I couldn't believe how long that line was. So Mommy said, let's go back at the end of the day and see if the ride is a shorter line. Remember when we went back, I can't remember exactly what time it was. It was toward the end of the day. But remember when we went back, how long the line was?
Yeah.
How long was it?
About
it's a trick.
3 or 2 hours.
No, that's a trick question. There was no line. We went back, there was no line.
Yes.
0 line. So, but guess what?
Trying to...
It still took us like 10 minutes just to walk through all the stanchions and get to the front, get all the way to the front. So it still took like a 10 or 15 minute walk just to do that. But there was no one in line. And because there was no one in line, I think the safari driver gave us extra time on the safari because it ended up being about a 25-minute safari ride. And
she did like a 15.
Yeah, I don't know how long it normally is. It's a good at least
A
15
good
minute
ride.
ride. But we were on there because she kept stopping and pointing stuff out to us, and she did a really really good job with us of showing us where all the animals were. Do you remember some of the animals that we saw? We saw a lot of animals.
We saw hyenas, hippos, alligators, maybe crocodiles. I don't know if
Elephants.
they're alligators.
I remember
Yeah, we saw
elephants,
elephant.
lions,
Yeah.
giraffes.
And it was like the Lion King because there was a cub too.
That's right. Did you say crocodile?
Yeah.
Or alligator? It was either alligator or crocodile. Maybe both. I don't know.
We also saw
We saw a lot. Did we see like
rhino.
rhino? Yep, we sure did. We saw rhinos.
And don't tell me those animals were fake because
no, those
they're
were real.
real.
No, those were real animals. Absolutely, they were.
Yes.
Now listen. Here's a Disney myth. Okay, another
and
pro
there's
tip.
a lot of, and those are like all wild animals.
They were wild animals, yes. You
Yes.
don't want to get out and try to pet them or anything like
Yeah.
that. That's a big no-no. But here's a big Disney myth, and this is a Mythbusters here. Pro tip: everyone thinks this is probably why the lines are so long on the safari ride first thing in the morning, because everybody thinks, for whatever reason, they think they're going to see all the animals come out in the morning, and there's no animals in the afternoon or in the evening, which is not true. Okay, that might be true for certain specific animals. If you want to see a specific animal, that animal might come out in the morning and not come out in the afternoon or evening. But we did it at the very end. I can't remember, maybe 6:30 or 7.
And only in the evening, there's hyenas.
We saw so many animals at the end of the day. It was, so awesome. And we didn't wait in line to do it. So that's your pro tip for Animal Kingdom, the biggest pro tip we can give you. Now, the last thing we did.
I thought you said Magic Kingdom.
Did I say Magic Kingdom? I meant Animal Kingdom. I keep mixing them up. Animal Kingdom, we saw the animals. Now, listen, the last.
Only the one that doesn't have Kingdom
is Hollywood Studios.
Yeah.
Or Epcot, because Epcot's just
or-
Epcot.
Yeah.
Okay, now listen. Remember the last ride that we did on the day was the River Rapids. Just me and you did that, remember? And it was the kind of the big round. You get into the big round float, I guess. I don't know what it's called.
And we got soaked.
And you
so you
float
better
down.
wear a poncho.
You float. That's another pro tip. You float down the river and you go down some rapids. And yes, we got absolutely drenched.
Yeah.
So if you are going to ride that ride, maybe throw on a poncho. Unless you want to get wet. Now,
or if you don't want to get wet, you can just do do swimsuit.
oh yeah, that's a good. Some people will just put your swimsuit on. That's a good idea. Or see, the thing is, a lot of people like to do those rides over the summer when it's really really hot out over the summer months, and then you get on a ride like that and you just cool off, and you want to get wet because it's so hot, and it feels good. It's like refreshing. So there's that too.
And we didn't think we would get that wet because
we did not.
because
No.
at the end we got soaked.
Yeah, we made it all the way to the very end. We just got a little drizzle here and there, and then a couple drops, and then at the end we got absolutely drenched at the very end. So it was okay. You dry out pretty quickly.
These quotes.
We wore the same. Yeah, we wore the same shirts that day. Now listen. Now the last thing we did was the Tree of Life is a very iconic place of the park that people want to take pictures and stuff. It's a really really cool photo place. No, we're almost done here. We're going to tell them about the Tree of Life, and then at night, no, stay right here with me. At night they have the show, the Tree of Life Awakenings. Is kind of like a laser show.
And if you don't want to be in a crowd,
right.
But you won't be able to see the cool parts. But if you don't want to be in a crowd, just go to the back.
Now what he's trying to say.
Okay. And you won't be able to see the cool stuff. But so it's kind of a hard decision.
That's true. We're gonna talk about that.
You'll see the cool stuff if you go to the front, but there's gonna be a big crowd.
That's true.
But you can see the not cool stuff, and you won't see a big crowd.
Okay, so
there will be no people
Let's
there.
break it down. What he's trying to explain to you is this is a potential pro tip, okay? So at the end of the night, when it gets dark, they have they call it the Tree of Life Awakening.
And if you think it's a real tree, it's not a real tree.
It looks very real, and it's a beautiful tree.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like a laser show, if you will, and it's set to music, and it's really cool.
And it's kind of like shadow puppets, but way better.
It's very cool.
It's kind of like shadow puppets, but way, way better.
Yeah, you just said that. So anyway, so listen. So what happens is you can actually go. I don't think a lot of people know this. Actually, nobody might know this because we did this and we were the only people that did it. We went to the back side of the tree for the show, and just to avoid the crowds, because everybody crowds up in front of the tree to see the show, and it gets, people are jammed in there, and it's at the end of a long hot day, and you don't want to be jammed in. If you want a little space and you just want to take the kids and just unwind and sit down and rest and relax and have a snack, go to the back side of the tree, and there's nobody there, and you can still see the show. But like he was trying to explain, you're not going to see it, 100% perfect, and you're not going to hear, you won't hear the music as well because the speakers, of course, facing the other way, and the sound is going the opposite way, but you can still hear it and you can still see it. But it's not, as 100% perfect quality that you would see on the front side. So the decision is, if you want to avoid the big crowd and just go on the back, you can go to the back side of the Tree of Life and still enjoy the show that way. That's what we did. And I actually was shocked that nobody else was back there but us. We were the only ones that did that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody even knows that they could do that. So there's that. That was our last tip of the day. Now, do you have any idea how many steps that we walked and how many miles that we walked that day?
1,000.
1,000? Close. It's 1,000 times 20. 20,000. We walked over 20,000 steps that day. Not you, because you were riding in a stroller for some of that. But Mommy had her little health, step tracker. And this park, I think it's spread out the most, so you're going to do the most walking.
But it's not the biggest. Magic Kingdom.
No, actually, you know what? No, this park is actually the biggest because of all the land that they have for the animals in the safari. Now, we don't realize it's so big because the parts that we're allowed to go to is much smaller. But they have the most land, the most acreage is actually at Animal Kingdom for all of the live animals that live in the jungle, if you will. So this actually is the biggest park land-wise. But what you're trying to say is there's not that, this park's kind of spread out, I think, the most. So you are going to do the most walking at this park, especially if you spend a day there and you try to do all the rides and the attractions and the shows. So we ended up walking almost, I think it was 9 miles, the equivalent of 9 miles. So bring your favorite walking shoes. So anyway, so this is the end of our review.
And if you don't have any walking shoes, just go to what place was it?
Well, we went to, I think I bought some shoes from Kohl's, but any place that sells good walking or running shoes, Dick's Sporting Goods, any place that sells shoes.
Can I have your shoe for a second?
No, we don't need to show them my shoe.
I want to.
No. I bought some Asics shoes that were really good, very comfortable. So that's very important. Very important. Now, let's tell them we're doing a whole series of Disney video reviews for all the parks and all the experiences that we did. So we're going to put some up on the screen here.
And we didn't do...
We're going to do a video for all the parks that we did.
We did Hollywood.
We're about to do Magic Kingdom. That's our next one.
We didn't do Magic Kingdom.
We've done the Hollywood Studios. We've done the Star Wars droid versus lightsaber review, the builds. We've done lots of other ones, and we've got more coming. So thank you so much for watching. Tell them.
And if you have went to Disney, that's okay. And if you haven't went to Disney, that's okay too.
That's right. So if you get a chance to go, hopefully these tips will help you and your family if you have young kids. And yes, so we're gonna say goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, remember our favorite saying. Have a magical day.
Wait. Beep, beep, beep.
Okay.